Hi guys. So a lot of times when I do a video, I'm talking about all the great things happening with the business, the new event, what we're doing, the specials that we have to offer. And recently I was watching a video by one of the social media marketing guys, Gary Vaynerchuk, and he said, just sometimes put out your business and talk to people about the real struggle of being in business and what it means and some of the things that are challenging you. Sometimes you have valleys and mountains. A good friend of mine this morning was saying how we are barely coming out of a pretty significant valley in business. And of course, figuratively, of course, we're talking, the highs and the lows. Sometimes the lows are far more aggressive than you expect. Hands down, the hardest thing I've ever had to do was own and operate a business. So as I sit here and talk to you from my office, I'm looking at just a stack of mail and things that I've got to get attention to, and different people I owe money to from different agencies. I mean, you name it. Running your own business, just because you're not making money and as a regular revenue stream, doesn't mean the bills stop. They still keep coming in. And our business has a pretty significant monthly expense. For some people, it's nothing, when they've got much bigger businesses. But for a business like mine, it's everything. When you need to make a dollar, but you don't make a dollar to run, then you're scrambling. So I guess the reason for the video is just to talk to you guys and talk to you about, some of the struggles that I'm facing as a young businessman, as a young entrepreneur. We've had some 3 significant challenges in the past 4 months with Freedom Air, from the helicopter to locations we get to run at, to weather battling us. So all 3 in my particular business have a serious impact. And I'm sure for other industries, weather has a major challenge on the impact of their business. But I'll give you one example. My aircraft, my helicopter, and we don't own the helicopter yet. We're trying to change that for 2019, working with a banker out of South Austin, BB&T Banks, because my own bank, Bank of America, they won't even talk to me. So I've been told no. I can't tell you how many times, by banks, loan agencies, local banks. Some wouldn't even look at me, and I just went in for a small loan. I mean, it's just crazy what the bankers really want. They want you to be this perfect person on paper and have all the assets ready to go. And really, if you had all the assets ready to go, why would you need to go to a bank, right? If you already had the $100,000 in your account, or 50 or 20 or 300 or whatever dollar amount you need, why would you go to a bank? Well, you don't have the money, so you go to a bank, and that's the most logical direction to go if you need the money. The other option is you talk to investors, and investors, they're going to want similar returns as a banker. Maybe not, 5 to 10%, depending on what bank you use. But investors, they're going to want 20% or ownership of your company. And there's various other things that I'm just like, I'm not really willing to give up ownership of my company, whether it's 2%, 1, 20, or 30. So investors aren't necessarily the way to go. So we lease a lot of our equipment, and our particular bird that we leased in 2018, from the moment we got it, we started experiencing troubles. The bird has some various vibrations to it that I don't like. The magnetos, which I know if you're not a pilot and you're listening to this and you're like, well, what is that? It's a gear on the helicopter or on aircraft that allows you to keep running the engine in case you lose all electrical power, like your battery or your alternator. You can still keep the engines running. Uses magnetos. Well, we started getting failed magnetos, which our good friend Greg White, he was flying the aircraft and he had a situation on board the bird and he had to land it in a field. So that tells you how extreme situations like that can be. So that put the bird down for the weekend, and we had a loss of revenue because it was a high revenue weekend that we could have really done well at the Lampasas Spring Hill. And first thing off the bat, we had a maintenance problem. Then it cost money to get it fixed. We get it fixed, wasn't fixed right, and a week later we had the same problem. But it was just a different pilot flying it, same problem, another $5,000 thrown at it to get the magnetos fixed, to get it back in the air, but it cost us another event. So it cost us 2 events, and later it cost us a 3rd event. We finally got that problem squashed and fixed for all, and the last, or the icing on the cake, was this last event where the pilot would fire the bird back up, and he came to bring it home, and engine overspeed, which not a big deal on a car or a truck, it's just like you rev it too high, but those have, ways to prevent damage. Well, in an aircraft, it damaged the shaft on the aircraft, and it cost $12,000 to get it fixed on a bird that I don't own. So put us back $12,000. That's just the aircraft alone. So 4 particular events, or gigs rather, that we couldn't fly the aircraft because of damage. We lost several weekends of revenue as a result of this bird being down and out. $12,000 in damage plus the previous bills. All to say that's one part of business, one struggle. Another struggle is weather. Clearly, if you guys look outside, if you can't see a half a mile or more, or it's raining outside, we don't fly. It's pretty simple math. You know, we need half a mile minimum, and we need 1,000-foot ceiling just to kind of call it legal. And there's some other, factors we use for different types of airspace and classes of airspace. So weather has played a significant factor since October until this month, January, at the time of this recording. And some other things that have played a factor is location. We had a pretty good thing going, and my fault for assuming, so this is something if you're in business, for assuming that something is pseudo-regular or permanent when I didn't have a written contract or an agreement in place with Austin's Parking Pizza. I'll just put it out there. We had a good thing going. From the management down, we had a tremendous relationship. Us and them, we had a good working relationship. It was a good thing, good marketing for that particular location. We met a lot of good friends there, even from the Killeen area, that would go down to Parking Pizza and bring their family, and as a result, they would fly with us. And for whatever reason, the owner and his investor, and to this day, I don't know why, have requested we do not fly there anymore. So we don't know why. It happened to us 3 times. So in the first event, it was like, hey, take a break. They had some people coming out to look at the land, property evaluation or whatever, and they didn't want to pay additional property tax, so I understood, don't show an operation, don't fly there. That lasted 2 weeks. Then we came back, and then it was another event. He said, hey, you can't be here this weekend for whatever reason. That was twice that we lost revenue. And the third time, he just said, not even to me directly, through his management, he said, we don't want the helicopter here this weekend or moving forward. So I didn't pursue it anymore. I was like, okay, you know what? The guy doesn't want us there, so we're just going to move on. I know we're a good thing. I know we bring a lot to the table. We bring a lot more than say, other helicopter companies do, because we will come to you. We bring the whole operation to you. We provide a smile and a service that's just hands down phenomenal. And I'm not just saying that, but I truly believe in what Freedom Air does. And I believe that, we bring it to you. We help other people that have never flown in a helicopter get up in the air and experience the joy of flying. It may just be a short ride. It may just be a taste of a helicopter, but it plants that seed. And for some people, it's planted a seed big enough where they want to pursue an aviation career as being helicopter pilots or pilots in general. And as most of you know, or if you don't know, I'm a dual-rated pilot, so it means I fly airplanes and helicopters. I'm getting a phone call. Okay. Just decline that phone call. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Getting a phone call. I'm recording from my phone. Should have turned off phone calls while I'm recording. But to continue on with the story, you've got challenges when running a business. And right now, we're at a pretty significant challenge where a lot of people, when they say, yeah, we're broke in business, mean they're broke at a $50,000 mark. And they don't have 50 grand in their account and they're broke. Well, when I say the company is experiencing difficulty, I mean the company is experiencing a zero balance. We saw that in December, pulled it back out. I put some personal funds in it and recovered some of the business assets. And here we are trying to do a lot of liquidation, selling off equipment, things like that to turn the company around, because I totally believe in the company, my vision, and in the people that we fly for or have flown in the past. They also believe in us, but we continually get challenged. So back to the locations are number one, or one of the 3, aircraft and weather. We've seen all 3. Now we're building up our locations. Our new pilot, Thomas Blanchard, he's been out there really pounding the roadways and the emails and the phone calls, getting some new people on board, helping us get new gigs. And of course, we call them gigs, but Killeen is a great town to live in, and I love it. I retired here in 2014, was stationed here for 10 years as a military man. It's a quiet town, though, so this particular business doesn't necessarily drum up the kind of business we need to sustain steady operations. So we have to go out of town a lot. Austin's kind of been our playground, Cars and Coffee, that Circuit of Americas. rolling back to, the Parking Pizza was a good gig for us for a while. We had a gig going on Lake Travis at the Oasis restaurant. We went to go bid for Steiner Ranch. I didn't follow through enough with the proper contacts, and another operator was able to lock in Steiner Ranch. So there will be tours on Lake Travis through a good friend of mine, but also, good friend, but he's a competitor. But he'll be operating there at Steiner Ranch, and I support him 100%. And we're going to stay off Lake Travis for a minute and see how well he does, or either join forces with him and continue operating. I am looking at Dallas, hopefully purging into Dallas and continue growth. But why do I tell you this? Because I want people to see and hear the struggles from just a regular guy who's trying to share my gift or the joy of flying to the world. I really do truly enjoy flying. I've been doing it for a long time. And for many years, it's been a selfish gift. In other words, I do it because I enjoy it. I do it because I get some thrill or satisfaction out of flying and always bettering yourself, constantly studying. Flying makes you a different kind of person. Being a pilot, now this is just, me talking. I'm sure there's a percentage out there that don't necessarily follow these rules. But it kind of keeps your life on a particular line. For example, if I want to go fly, you don't want to have anything in your head. You don't. If you drink a lot, okay, just use that as an example, then you don't want to go fly because you've got alcohol in your system. Or if you start other habits, you definitely don't want that in your system either. And so you kind of avoid those things. And for me, I was a non-drinker for all my life until about age 44. And then I had a beer. So now I'll have an occasional beer once in a while. But still, I tend to stay on the clean lines of, staying healthy. I don't smoke, don't drink, and just try and stay on those lines because I love being a pilot. So all those things to tell you, it kind of keeps your life in one direction. Plus, you're always in the books, you're always studying, you're always learning. So it keeps your mind sharp. And just when you think you've plateaued in flying, you'll learn something new. Whether it's a new rating, instrument rating, commercial rating, multi-engine rating, just a different rating to be a pilot. So I just tell you all this, back to being business. I do read a lot. You can see my book library behind me. I got a lot more books in my truck. I've got some other books over here to my right. I got some books at home. And I don't think I read enough. Some of these guys that are just, animals when it comes to reading. I'm impressed. You ever heard a guy named Tai Lopez? He reads a book a day. The big players in business, the big successful mongrels out there. Even Warren Buffett, he reads 6 to 8 hours a day. I know this because I read one of his books and then I read some articles about the guy. Just amazing stuff. There may not be books that he reads, but he does read books. He reads other authors. Bill Gates does a lot of reading too. Of course, he's a huge philanthropist, and he's also a big, a charity guy who raises a lot of money for charity. Does a lot of great and wonderful things with his money. One of the most humble people that I read about or I hear about. I'd love to meet those people and just kind of get some of their nuggets of information and help a small business like me. But thanks for listening. And sometimes the struggles are real. Sometimes it's good to hear that these struggles are real from someone who's in the thick of it. It's real. It's daily. We do a lot of great and wonderful things out here. People just don't know it. And probably not my weakest, but I have many weaknesses. But one of my weaknesses is telling people about my company. We have two. We have two companies. One was born as a result of Freedom Air. And Freedom Air is my primary company, my baby, my vision. And my vision is to give helicopter rides. And to be able to give helicopter rides, helicopter tours, all over the state of Texas. That quite literally is my vision. I'd like to do it with multiple operations. And one of my dreams is a 5 helicopter operation. Let's see if No, I didn't bring it. It's in my truck. But I drew a little picture of how I see the helicopter operations going throughout Texas. I see us briefing everybody on a Thursday, and on Friday morning, the teams are launching out to the various cities and municipalities within the state of Texas to do helicopter rides and tours in those locations. So we come to you. The folks that live in small towns or even the rural areas or even big towns that don't even think about being on a helicopter, they're never going to travel to Vegas. They're not going to go to Florida to take rides in the Destin or Orlando area. They're not going to do those things. So where do we fit in? Freedom Air brings it to you. So my thing is to bring that gift to you. What's our niche? We bring it to you. You don't have to come find us. We'd have to try and reach out on the internet and tell you, hey, come take a helicopter ride, but you got to come find us. Drive 20 minutes out of your way or an hour or 2 hours or whatever it is to come find a helicopter operator. And then they're going to charge you a whole bunch of money to go fly in a helicopter. So I did the math, worked it out. So the pricing is fair for just about anybody. It's no more expensive than going to, taking your family to the movies or going out of the town on a Friday night. You'll spend that money on a Friday night, $100, $200, whatever it is. It's gone. You'll never see it, and you don't even remember what happened. With us, you'll spend a similar amount of money, and you'll remember it for a lifetime. We'll give you a cool photo, maybe a custom T-shirt, in a video if you want to buy it. That's what we do, is we provide that memory. And for those couple of minutes that you're on board the aircraft with me or my pilots or my team, you forget about everything else that's going on in your life. The only thing you can think about is the view. Wow, you're in the air. It's just magical. Even if you've been on a commercial airplane and you're a frequent flyer, flying in a helicopter, trust me, is completely different. I fly commercial jets for American Airlines, so I can tell you there's a night and day difference, and I've done videos on what it's like to be a jet pilot versus what it's like to be a helicopter pilot. And if you put the two in front of me, which one would I rather fly? For the pure joy of flying, that's still a helicopter, hands down. It's just fun. There's nothing like sitting in my helicopter, firing it up, watching the blades spin around, feeling that vibration of the bird, hearing the engine run, and then picking it up to a nice, stable 2 to 3 foot hover and just hold yourself suspended in space. It's a really cool feeling. But the topic of this conversation was to talk about business, so I don't mean to get off on a tangent, but really it's just talking about the struggles of real life business. It's real. For those that own a business, you feel my pain. You've either been through this pain or you're going to go through it. Maybe you've been blessed and you're one of those 1% people or 5%, whatever the statistics are, that you've never experienced a hiccup in your business. You've just been in one of those steady growth businesses all your life. And great to you. When I was a kid at 12 years old, I was that way because I had a lawnmower and I had all my expenses paid for because I lived in mom and dad's house. They had steady growth and steady profits. Every time I went and cut someone's lawn for $5 or $10, that was almost pure profit. Put $1 in gas, boy, I was making all kinds of money. But when I went on a real business, real expenses, real rent, real electricity, real payroll, it gets expensive. And sometimes it's harder than I thought. So we're constantly looking for new locations, and I'm always looking for someone to help us shout the word out. And, if you know someone out there, if you are a business person, and you happen to watch this video in the 18 minutes that I've recorded or the 20 minutes, I appreciate you making it to the end. And, send some friends my way. Introduce us to new people that can help us get the word out to folks that we've got 2 ways to help people enjoy their life, go on a birthday helicopter ride, or see our other business. And our other business is we make stuff. And you're like, make stuff? Okay, like the jacket that I'm wearing here. I know it seems simple. You're like, okay, cool. Where'd you get it? Where'd you get the shirt? We made it. We bought the jackets from a wholesaler, and then we made it. How about I just show you around for a few seconds, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And we're introducing another company. Well, that company, I'm just going to show you my son's name over here working. Check this out. Yeah, it's an embroidery machine. It's a commercial grade embroidery machine. And we're making shirts right now. This is for Crawfish Festival, Louisiana Crawfish. And we're making embroidery products for him and his company. But we opened a company called TexThreads, so TexThreads.com. I'll be honest, it's really hard to be your own business because you got to start a website, you got to think about marketing. We've got a pretty website, but I call it a nice, pretty book cover called TexThreads.com. And yeah, it's a great looking book cover, but there's no content. I mean, the content in it is terrible. And that's just me being honest, and being honest as I can with the people on this recording. Because the content of my website is terrible, and I have a vision of what it should be, but I don't know how to get it from here onto the website so that when customers click on our website and they go there, they're like, oh, wow, yeah, I really want that. They can do that? Yeah, we can do it. But if you don't know we can do it, how are we ever going to get to work and put these machines to work? They may not seem like a big deal, but there's $80,000 of investing into equipment for TexThreads. There's a really cool printer over there that makes banners and posters and decals and stickers and car wraps and all kinds of cool stuff. But you won't know about it because it's quiet over there in a dark corner, just resting it idle. It should be busy, smelling like ink burning and lots of things being printed. Well, that embroidery machine should be constantly running on a regular daily basis. And I've got a direct-to-garment machine that makes t-shirts just on the fly. You put a USB port in and you make a picture. Well, you have a picture and you put it on a shirt. It's that simple. It's printed right to it. It's next level screen printing. It's not screen printing. It actually prints directly to the shirt. Why do I say that? We have all these cool toys and people don't know that we can do that for them. And can we compete in pricing? Of course. I mean, we're a company, right? So we look at what do we pay for it? What do we need as a nice fair markup? How can we give you the best product? We let you see it, taste it, feel it, whatever, you know, and then we make it for you. What am I saying is I need someone that's passionate or understands marketing to talk about it and help get the word out there. Help us build a nice website. And I just tell you, that's another one of my weaknesses is marketing. How to market properly, get the word out there, tell people about what we do, get the word spread out through Google. And it just really spread the word from both Freedom Air to, oh, here's my t-shirt machine. Freedom Air to text threads. Get some light on in here. Yeah, this little booger right here looks like your regular copier. And when I first saw it, I was like, well, that's a simple looking machine. This sucker right here, $29,995. You can look it up. It's the Ricoh RI6000. Go to Google. Don't take my word for it. Just go to Google. Look it up. Ricoh Anajet RI6000. You'll see it's $29.95. There's trade show pricing, so you can get it a few $1,000s cheaper. And you're still going to pay $25,000, no matter what, for a brand new one. For a used one, I don't know really, because I didn't look for used ones. I wanted something brand new. But it's cool because you put a USB thing in it. I'll just show you real quick. It's really neat. You got a little USB deal right here. You put it in. You select the picture. You push print. And that button, and you put a t-shirt on this thing right here. It goes in automatically, and it prints a shirt. That's my little plug for it. Yeah. All right, so back out to the hangar where we're having a great big hangar yard sale this weekend to raise capital and money to keep Freedom Air afloat. So we are not liquidating the business. We are not selling the business. We're not going out of business. I'm saving the business. But here's the bird in question that it's beautiful. I mean, it is a beautiful, beautiful aircraft. So when you first look at it, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, this thing is gorgeous. You know, it's a 2006 model. You flip on the switch. There's a really pretty multifunction display that comes on, or electronic cockpit. We call it the glass cockpit in the aviation world. So yes, it's gorgeous. Leather seats, smells good, looks good. But she's got some problems, okay? One thing is, take a look at this. See that? That's right. It shouldn't be dripping that much oil on a regular basis, and it does. So it has an oil problem to it. Okay, it's got a vibration problem to it. So that means the main rotor system up here needs to be tracked and balanced. That's some big money. It just got a whole new nut put on here, so I can't really see it, but you look side in here, there's a nut and a little shaft that had to be replaced, and that was the $12,000 I was telling you about. So this bird here may look pretty, but she's giving me a lot of problems. Here's an older bird, okay? It's not mine, but David Seaton owns it, Seaton Agriculture Business. He's a great guy, by the way, and he flies for Freedom Air, so we have a Freedom Air decal on it. And my thing is flashing at me, so I better end the video. Hey guys, thanks for watching me. I'll try and do another video later. Thanks, we'll see you later. And